What's up, guys? It's Oblivious Gamer here, and well, today we got some very interesting announcement. The fact that Ninja Gaiden is getting a game and a mainline series game after 13 years? It's quite surprising. I mean, it's been a while. So Microsoft had a developers direct event. I don't know what the hell you want to call it. I didn't watch it, but during the event, there were like announcements for some games, and Ninja Gaiden 4 being revealed was one of like the event's surprise announcements. Pretty interesting. So this game is coming out pretty soon. I thought this would be a game that like if announced would come like, next year, but it's actually coming fall 2025. And it's going to be released for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, both on Steam and the Microsoft Store. It will also launch fully on Game Pass for those that have that available. We're back with the hack and slash. As you can see, the game visually very stunning. I think it looks really good. I mean, it is Unreal Engine 5, so we can expect that the game is going to be looking really nice. Now, the interesting thing with Ninja Gaiden 4 is we see a new protagonist. It's been some time also in the game, and a lot has changed. And this time we're taking the shoes of a new protagonist called Yakumo. And we see he's able to manipulate blood, his own blood and his enemy's blood, to create like cool weapons and use it to his advantage. Now, for those that are concerned, there's like, oh, are we just going to be playing as Yakumo? Well, you will also be playing as Hayabusa. He does appear at the end, and you see segments of him playable. Now, the trailer ends with both our new protagonist and our old protagonist clashing, which has prompted some people to compare it a bit to Devil May Cry 4, where we also get in a similar situation where you play as the new protagonist. You can also play as the old protagonist, and you will see them butt heads. So it's going to be interesting seeing how this new character develops and how people feel with him. I think a lot of people like Hayabusa and his design, his movesets. So I'm interested to see how people feel about the new character once they get their hands on him. I'm very curious to revisit the world and maybe see some other characters we haven't seen in a while. Another thing that was revealed that a lot of people seem surprised for is this is not just going to be a Team Ninja game, but it's also going to be co-developed. It's a bit iffy, I would say, how it necessarily is going to work, but the developers for this game is Team Ninja and PlatinumGames. And the game is being published by Xbox Game Studios. So very interesting, all that, but yeah, the fact that we are getting both Team Ninja and PlatinumGames collaborating is going to be an interesting thing, and how that dynamic is going to work. Are PlatinumGames going to be doing the heavy lifting, and Team Ninja's just going to oversee it and like give them some guidance and pointers? Are they planning on actually working together, like both teams taking the same kind of like workload, like both working together in tandem? It's going to be interesting since both companies have different philosophies. They have different things at what they're good at. So I'm curious to see how things are going to clash and how things are going to end up, because both Team Ninja and PlatinumGames obviously develop and work very different. And like, at this point, you know what a Team Ninja game feels like, and you also know what a Platinum game feels like. So overall, like, positive thoughts and everything, but like, I'm very excited. It's been a while. I'm very curious to see how good this game is going to be. There is concerns, of course. I'm concerned that some people have cited. It's not too much, but I think it's still a little bit of highlight. The game is going to be on Unreal Engine 5. Visually, Unreal Engine 5 looks amazing, but I do feel, and I kind of agree with some people, this engine that a lot of games have been using has been a bit underwhelming when it comes to optimization. Sometimes there's stuff that just is janky, there's stuff that just doesn't work well, there's stuff that just, it's not working as good as it is. I saw somebody compare it, not with Ninja Gaiden 4, but for example with the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, the new one that just also came out just today. They were saying how like the original game was like 8 gigs and this one is like a remake or a remaster. Those two words get a bit blurry in the industry, but I might call it a remake, but it's 85 gigs. That's like a huge jump. And usually, a lot of times, a lot of these games you can actually compress the files and make the game, not as like big as some of these games are. So a lot of back and forth about that. I'm not too picky about Unreal Engine 5, though I do understand and see where some people's like issues arise. Now, the next thing that's like on my chopping block of concern is PlatinumGames. So PlatinumGames has an amazing repertoire, history. There's so many games that we love from them: Bayonetta, Vanquish, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, Nier Automata, Astral Chain. However, two things have happened that I feel are kind of important to see where Platinum is. One, we saw a exodus on some of the talent. Hideki Kamiya left to make his own studio, and from what is understood, some members of Platinum left to go with Kamiya in the new studio that he formed, which was like Cloververse. And the other thing is, if you look at PlatinumGames' recent development of history of games, 2022, Babylon Fall, not a good game. It was a whole nightmare. Followed by, in 2022, Bayonetta 3, which I think it was received a bit mixed by people. I've seen people like the game, but I've also seen people not like it. So I don't think it was like a slam dunk that a lot of people thought it was gonna be. I've heard good things about Bayonetta Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. That's 2023. But other than that, we've had not a good game, a game that a lot of people felt underwhelmed with Bayonetta, and then a alright game with Bayonetta Origins. And after that, no games for some time except Ninja Gaiden 4. And of course, they're still working on their project, which is like Project GG or the Project Hero. So I'm a bit concerned with how the game is gonna be, with some of the members of Platinum leaving, and then they haven't been on a good run with some of the past games. So, and also kind of like they do have a history of, for example, with Granblue Fantasy Relink, they were like move aside for the game. Then you also have Scalebound. Now, there's a whole lot of issues with them. But yeah, I'm very curious how the game is going to be. And honestly, I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping that everything turns out fine. But there's definitely concern there with everything that has been recently happened with Platinum and how are they going to work. And also, as I stated earlier in the video, I feel Team Ninja and PlatinumGames have kind of different philosophies. You can tell what Team Ninja game is and also what a game is. So it's going to be interesting seeing how those two are going to work together, because they both have their quirks and what each studio gravitates to. But yeah, and then of course, as I mentioned, the DMC4 reference that some people were doing. I liked DMC4. I like Nero. I like some of the stuff. I understand it's not a game that a lot of people favored when it came out. So there's also a concern with that for some people where they're like, this is gonna be the DMC4 of Ninja Gaiden. I could see some concerns there with people doing these comparisons and some similarities with especially the narrative and how the story might end up. But yeah, let's be positive. Still, we got some time to see what the game can be. I'm sure we're going to be getting more news about it. As always though, guys, what are your thoughts? This has been Oblivious Gamer, and I hope you'll have a wonderful day or night wherever you are.